Hello, my name is John Marcar.
My name is Charlotte Vowden.
And my name is Alex Goy.
And welcome to Season 3 of the Driven Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engines running.
Hooray!
Yay! We're doing a thing again. Isn't that fun?
We're back.
We are back. We are back, but we're not only back, we are back. We are on camera.
Yep.
Whoa. So this is something we're going to be doing more of in Season 3. I can't promise that every episode is going to be
That's a surprise
filmed.
revelation.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to say. We're going to try and do a bit more of that, because apparently that's what you need to do now.
Yeah, you need to get it all on vertical, and we need to have one jaw-dropper moment
Yes.
that will shock everyone into subscribing to the podcast.
Yes, yeah. If in this episode, if you could both come up with something so controversial that we can clip for a reel, so that everyone goes, "Oh my God, I've never heard anyone say that about that thing before. I need to check these guys out."
I don't care for bad cars.
Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, exactly that. I guess we should do a little scene set, because as scene sets go, this is good because we're actually on a set and we're at Goodwood.
I think it's one of
very
the
good.
most glamorous
and we've got a wooden wall, so it's a good scene set on a good scene at
wall.
Goodwood with a wooden wall.
We are.
It's like being in a Scandinavian living room.
It is.
Very
or
sophisticated.
a Bavarian living room.
Except there are a lot of people walking past the living room,
Yes.
having a look and going, I don't know, look at them, and walking away.
It's the look of, no, I don't know who those guys are. I'll carry on.
I'll leave.
But yes, let me tell you, dear listener, where we are. We are currently sat in a studio created by BMW and Bowers and Wilkins, who have given us some fantastic headphones to use to monitor us. Well,
given might be a finger given at the end of the day.
I've already said to Patrick, who's looking after our audio visual for the day, who are the Bowers and Wilkins team? I just want to have a chat with them.
Chat with them and see if I
these
can
are nice.
have their things.
But yes, BMW have reached out not too long ago and said, look, we're going to the Festival of Speed as ever. We're setting up a stand as ever. And on that stand, we're going to be building a podcast studio.
A podcast studio with easy access to flies.
With
and they're trying to eat
that
John's
went right
face.
in my eyeball. And yes, so the BMW team reached out, said, would you like to take advantage of that? Here we are. So I thought, what better place to open Season 3, sat in a studio at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, surrounded by amazing people, amazing cars, amazing motorcycles, the occasional helicopter, the red arrows, and all sorts of other things. They're an audio recording nightmare.
Yes.
But hey, we're going to just embrace it because
Atmos.
we're here.
Yeah, we're going to need a lot of room tone at the end just to make it easy to cut together.
So
But enough of the technical stuff.
Cars, yes. No, it is lovely to be here. So a huge thank you to BMW for setting this up for us. We've been explicitly told we don't have to just constantly wave the BMW flag throughout this conversation. There are a couple of things BMW related I have to talk about. One of them is in eye shot of me, which is a BMW M5 Touring, very conveniently finished in Goodwood Green, which is my dream spec.
Has it got the tan interior?
It doesn't have the tan, but I'm going to forgive
Rubbish.
it. 'Cause,
0 stars.
Yeah. If it had the tan interior, it would be perfect.
Yeah.
But yes. So let's have a quick run through of, firstly, what's brought us here and why we're here. So I'm here thanks to BMW and, of course, this wonderful stand. And in addition to, would you like to come and sit in our podcast studio, I also got the offer of, would you like to come and have a ride up the hill in our new BMW Vision driving experience?
Ooh.
Now I have questions about this because
Yes.
I saw the concept Vision thing a few years ago. They said, "Oh, this is close to production," but it's got a sort of magical heads-up display, sort of virtual infotainment thing that you can flick things to, and you can stretch information and squidge information. You can have as much or you can have as much or as little of it as you like. In the car you drove, was it there? Because it was really cool.
It was. So yes, the driver's instrument cluster is now gone.
Okay.
So there is still a central screen
Yeah.
in the center console, but there's nothing directly ahead of you. Everything is on a head-up display, but it goes across the whole of the windscreen.
Wow.
So the idea being, as correctly as you say, Alex, when the full in prototype thing works, you'll be able to flick off the screen, the set from the center screen, to different corners of the head-up display to show you what you want, whether that's speed, whether that's weather, whether that's phone calls, that sort of thing.
It's a bit like
It's very
Minority
clever.
Report,
Yeah,
Iron
very.
Man, like
Yeah.
precognition, I know this is going to happen kind of
Yeah.
thing.
And is this
I dig
something
it.
that's not been done before?
So this is the first time we've seen it in a working concept. And this car is exciting for lots of reasons. That's one of them, because it's BMW calling it their operating system 10. So this is the 10th version of their in-car tech, which is amazing. But more amazing than the tech is the fact that the car that I went up the hill in yesterday had 18,000 Newton meters of torque.
Is
Wow.
that in the motor or is it at the wheels? Because if it's at the wheels, how are you alive?
Well,
I mean, the car would just still be digging its way through the Earth's crust.
Yeah. So just in case anyone's listening that doesn't quite, I'm going to give you a good comparison of torque figures. So the new BMW M5 that I'm currently adoring over there in Goodwood Green, that is a very, very, very fast car, and that has 1,000 Newton meters of torque. Fast car, a lot of torque.
That's a lot of
A
torque.
lot of torque is 1,000 torques is a lot of torques. A Challenger 2 tank.
I'm enjoying this comparison already.
Because I put this on my Instagram stories yesterday, and a mate of mine that used to drive tanks for a living replied and went, hang on a minute, a Challenger 2 tank only has 4,000 Newton meters of torque. That's a lot of torque, by the way.
That's a very lot of
Because
torque.
to move
Yeah.
a tank, which is a heavy thing,
Yes.
you need a lot of torque. So for the fact that there is a car that a human being like you or I could go and sit in and purchase and drive to have potentially 18,000 Newton meters of torque. And what was interesting, I watched the live stream back after the car had gone up the hill, and the commentators went, well, it's 1,800 Newton meters of torque. Clearly, you've got that wrong. No. We got to the top. Ed Foster, bless him, came out to interview myself and Elias, who were driving the car, and said, I had to double check. The commentator said 1,800 Newton meters of torque, and Elias kindly went, no, it's not 100. It is thousands. And Ed Foster's face almost melted. It was great.
And you've been up the hill a few times. So how did that experience compare to ones that you've had in the past?
It was a lot quicker.
Was it brisk? I was going to ask. Like, was it balls to the wall?
It
or was it quick?
For Elias that was driving it, it was actually his first run up the hill. We did 2 runs simultaneously. And he said, I don't really know what the grip level is going to be like. It's on something like 305 profile front tyres, which is about as wide as you can get. That's what you put on the back of a GT3 RS. That's on the front of the car. All round, it's a square setup.
There's a lot of torque to rein in.
Yeah, and we're on the Pirelli Corsa, all singing, all dancing, best you can get.
Trofeo RS.
Yeah, super duper, grippy, ready to go. Incredible. And we set off the line with the biggest cloud of tyre smoke you've ever seen, because that was just him accelerating.
Right.
And so,
Okay.
yeah, it was, there is absolutely no way we could have experienced. I asked Elias on the way down, I said, what do you think you did in terms of like actual power put down? What percentage? And he said, maybe 40.
Right. Okay. So what you're telling me is it's got more torque than is really necessary, and it's for the tyre buying enthusiast. If you just want to buy tyres, what gets me up in the morning is just buying more tyres.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Well,
So,
I'm
yes.
very jealous because it looked mega.
It's very
The car
special. And I
looked
think there's
ace.
something like only 6 people in the world have actually been a passenger in that car. So I'm in a very exclusive club at the moment, which is very nice.
That's very nice.
In that sort of club, like people that get to experience the hill, like, is it a mixture of, lucky people like us who are journalists and being in the industry, but you also get, people that have nothing to do with the industry and have won it, or who else is kind of on the hill?
I don't know in terms of, certainly not for BMW's rides, but there were a few people that were in, lots of different cars. I guess partners, guests, sponsors, guests, that sort of thing might be put in. So you can tell the mega nerds at the top of the hill, like me, because we get out the car. Myself and Elias, who went up the hill in the BMW, Elias was the driver, we basically got our phones out immediately because the old F1 cars started coming up and we're just being complete nerds. And there was a McLaren F1 GTR. And we're like, oh my God, the two of us are like, oh my God, look at this. And then you've got other people there that are just like, when are we going back down?
I've got lunch.
Yeah, I've got a lunch with
1
Tag
p.m.
Heuer.
For those of you that well, there will be quite a few people who haven't gone up the hill. A hill run is an immense privilege, But if you've got anything else to do that day, you haven't anymore, because if there's an accident on the hill, or if someone comes off, or if a car fails to proceed, you're slot in the queue. You're told to get in a car, and then you're sat in like the best traffic ever, normally with a racing driver or someone you don't really know. So you have to really hope at least one of you has a dollop of charisma and is at least slightly handy with small talk. But then you're
True,
yeah. I
because
mean,
a lot of racing drivers don't have
they
that.
do. I've done it. I've been lucky enough to do it a few times, and I've had like legendary racing drivers who could not give less of a
Can
moment.
you name a name?
No, I'm not going to name
Oh.
names, but that you could just tell this guy, he wanted to do his job and go and like do the next one. So I've been being sat in a racing car, basically dissolving because it was a daylight day. It's like 30 degrees here, which is excellent, but melting because it's a race car. Trying to make small talk with a German man who just didn't want me to be there. He wanted to set his time and leave. But also you get, if you're lucky and you get someone like your man Elias, and you can chat and you have a good time, at the end of it you think, we're going to be friends forever, and then you never speak again.
But also, like, for people that maybe aren't that passionate about it, but then they get in a car with someone who is, that can be a completely like transformative experience for someone. Not only having that conversation, but also the experience of it. And also, I imagine, driving down there and you've got the grandstands and things like that, and you must just be like, oh, this is good.
It depends. I don't know, like, how was your experience? So remember, I've driven it in stuff. You've ridden up it on motorbikes. I've been driven up it, and when I'm being driven, it's normally the man in the hot seats going, I'm going to make him have a really, really weird time. I was last year, I was catapulted up the hill in a Bentley, and I was trying to film it. I was like, no, my face was either in my knees, or I was looking at the sky, and then I was left, I was right, I was up, I was down. It was manic and brilliant.
It is a very surreal experience. I'm sure I've mentioned this before about going up on the bikes, which I'm doing later today. So we're recording this on the Friday at the Festival of Speed. We were here yesterday. We've got recordings tomorrow and Sunday, so you'll get those episodes in a few weeks. But yeah, all days this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going up the hill in some capacity. So today, this afternoon, I'm going up on the Royal Enfield bikes again, custom Royal Enfields, which is great. I'm not really looking forward to putting on the leathers in 30-degree heat.
Oh, did you
going to
bring...
be
Well, that's
going to be
tricky.
hot.
Did you
Have you
pack
got
the
talc?
driven talc?
I should have done, really.
Pretty much.
But it's a very strange experience for me, because I came to the Festival of Speed every year as a child, as a little boy. Little John came here, and I can remember standing, holding the rope and standing behind the hay bales and watching the cars and the bikes go up the hill and thinking, how cool is that? And now I go up the hill, and more so on the way back down the hill, because you go up, you have this little holding assembly area, and then you get your way back down the hill. It's on the way back down that you actually get to take it all in, and you get to look around and see people, you see faces, you see cameras, and you see the similar sort of aged kids that I would have been when I was coming here for the first time, going, they are having an amazing time because they're looking at this. I'm having an amazing time because I'm like, I remember being you there, and it's all, I don't think it will ever not be special. So yeah, I'm going up. So obviously going up in the passenger seat at the BMW is amazing. Going up with Royal Enfield today and tomorrow. Sunday, I'm going up in the new Maserati MC20 racing car, GT3 thing, or maybe
that's
GT4.
cool.
So
That's very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's all utterly brilliant. I know this is very self-indulgent. You might be listening at
Yeah, but
home
it's
in
interesting
Sweden
because-
going, well, this is rubbish. I've
Well,
never
if
been
you-
there.
But it's nice to hear, because I think, little John was stood
Yeah.
like by the side of that road going, oh, that's cool, that's a cool car, and probably didn't think that you'd ever get there, and you're
Nope.
doing it. And we say this time and time again on this podcast, but if you've got dreams and ambitions, you can make it happen, and you've done that, and you're
Yeah.
doing all sorts on there this weekend, and
Yes.
it's really cool. And I think perhaps this is true, is that because you're doing it in different vehicles, it's a completely different experience every time. You're riding it as well, and does that help you sort of not lose its edge, because sort of like you can become a bit jaded sometimes to
Completely.
the
I have
experiences
no
you
idea
get.
what you mean.
I deserve this. I deserve everything about this. I have every right to be here. No.
I'm
to
not
me,
jaded. It's just another hill run. Yeah.
To me, we've spoken about this before. I think we all suffer from it. The elements of imposter syndrome, where you're in an environment where you're waiting for somebody to come and tap you on the shoulder, going, "Sorry, what are you doing here?" This is for actual people,
sometimes they
not for
do.
you.
I had one hill run years ago. Jag used to just crack out the heritage cars, and they'd have an overnight the night before, and there'd be a list on the wall. So, right, you're driving this up, you're driving that up. They don't sort of ask if you'd be interested a few weeks before. And one year I got to drive their long-nose D-Type up the hill, which is a
that's nice.
very special car.
Yeah.
Very, very cool thing. But of course, I'd never driven one before. And you go to the paddock up near the sort of middle of the hill, I guess.
Yeah.
And you get into your romper suit, and they go, right, basic controls. There's a fan for when you're stuck in traffic, but don't use it for too long because you'll rinse the battery and then you won't move. It's got a Moss box, so be careful of that because they are a bit rubbish. And you've got to rev it, but not too far because you'll blow the engine, but not too little, otherwise you'll stall. And I'm then sat in traffic, trying not to burn the clutch out but still having to trundle forward. And these people in Jag Heritage polo tops looking incredibly nervous. And I got to the start line, and I really, really violently dislike Moss boxes. They're dreadful, dreadful gearboxes. Got to the start line, I went, you have that thing, don't stall, don't stall, don't stall, don't stall, don't stall, don't stall. Went off the line, made some noise, got up to the first corner, changed into seconds. This is wonderful. Got past the big house, up into third. Oh, this is brilliant. Got to Moulcombe, which is a notorious corner. If you don't know, it's off camber, left hand. If you don't brake in time, you go into hay bales a la Chris Hoy and Andy Green. And it's all very embarrassing and everything stops. And I was like, oh no, I've got to change down. And I went for it, and oh no, and then slowed down a bit more and got it in. I got to the top of the hill and I was like, oh God, oh no, who am I? This is the worst thing ever. And I tweeted, so what a privilege it is to drive. It's a very special thing. Gearbox isn't my favourite. And there was one reply within 30 seconds. We heard.
Brilliant.
Oh.
If you can't find it, grind it.
I know, grind it I did. Shameful, but an excellent. It's one of the things that it is a pinch me.
Yeah.
It's such a privilege to do, and to be trusted with this stuff. I mean, the passenger ride, you're having an experience that no one else has had, and you know the person next to you is going to look after you. They're not going to do anything stupid. They know the capabilities of the car most of the time. But then when you're given something like a Royal Enfield or a Jag or a BMW or an anything, and they say, right, off you go.
Yeah.
Have fun. You've never driven this before, but please don't bend it. Oh, and by the way, there's one really tricky corner, but we haven't told you which way the hill goes.
Yeah.
Have you got Gran Turismo 5? It's on there.
Charlotte, you must have been up the hill.
I have never been up the hill at Goodwood. I know. I was
Mr.
meant to
Marcar.
last year, but unfortunately I couldn't make it down here because of a family thing. So it's never happened for me.
Mr. Marcar, we need to rectify this immediately.
We should. Well, what would be your ideal vehicle of choice to be a passenger in?
An
Sidecar.
MGA.
It's
Have you got an
sidecar
MGA?
from Maria. I have, yeah.
Have you?
I've
Never
taken that up the hill
mentions
at
it.
Chelsea Walsh.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're well versed.
Yeah, and I kind of know what I'm doing. But I'd love to go up with Maria Costello in her sidecar.
Oh, yes.
Oh my goodness, that would be awesome.
Right, we're
'Cause
going to
I'd
do this
also get to wear leathers.
2026.
2026, Maria Costello x Vowden.
Yes, it's the collaboration we've all been waiting
Yeah.
for. That would be good.
We'll do
That'd be
a
very good.
tricky real edit with lots of spins and.
Can you just imagine the footage? It'd be like, all the way.
Yeah, but that's the best bit. Actually, if any of you are sort of near a YouTube after this, you need to search for on Bentley's social channels. They put one of their lovely colleagues, Heather, in the hill. They put one of their lovely colleagues, Heather, up the hill in a Conti GT Speed or something like that. She'd never been up before, and it is
lovely.
mostly screaming. And they put it on their socials. It is one of the best minute and a halves you will ever spend.
Love it.
ever. It's excellent. Heather's a good sport. She's a lovely human being. But yes, watch that.
Love
It's
it.
brilliant.
On the subject of the hill, and
Yes.
this is the last gloating conversation of driving up and down the hill because I'm just so lucky. I did find one glorious thing, because a lot of people moan about the fact that EVs are going up the hill, and which of course I went up in this bizarrely fast EV with 18,000 Newton meters of torque. I have found one extremely good thing about going up the hill in an EV. Whilst the audience and the spectators won't have been happy because it didn't sound particularly exciting, on the way back down the hill, myself and Elias in the BMW Vision driving experience managed to just skillfully slot in for the procession back down behind a McLaren F1 GTR.
Oh, that'll do.
Now, they happen to sound utterly wonderful.
Yes.
So when you're in an EV, you roll the windows down, gliding in silence, listening to a McLaren F1 GTR crackling in the background.
Beautiful.
And for our viewers on Instagram and on the YouTube channel, I'll show you that footage right now. We have strategically decided to follow a McLaren F1 GTR down the hill. Because why not? It's still, sort of BMW, so it's okay, right?
Yeah,
It's still on brand.
Yep. It is 12 cylinders, very lovely sounding 12 cylinders.
And me and Elias in this car. Elias, by the way, is one of the Red Bull Drift brothers.
Oh, okay.
So he does loads of really cool stuff. And the two of us are there just like, how good is this? Like, that's an F1 GTR crackling away down the hill.
You know
You
what it
tempted
sound good
to-
in? You know what it sound good through? Some Bowers and Wilkins headphones.
Oh, nicely done there,
Thank you.
Goy. I
Nicely
like that.
segued in. We should point out Bowers & Wilkins are not a sponsor of this podcast, but if they'd like to be,
If they'd like to be, I can think of some
Podcast@driven.site.
excellent ways to spend their money.
Now, elsewhere here at the Festival of Speed, because again, for those of you that have been, you'll know that this is now turned into a behemoth of an event in almost two different time zones at two different altitudes. You've got show stands here, you've got racing cars here, you've got demos here, you've got drift demos, you've got motorbikes, you've got the red arrows, you've got all sorts. If there's even non-car related things like the science lab and the future lab, and you can see what's that weird dog thing that walks around?
the robot.
The Boston Dynamics
Boston
thing.
Dynamics.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday, and I kind of wanted to set fire to it because the future's really scary.
It sounds really cool, but I just want to push it over and see what it does.
And one day the robots will
You're
rebel.
mean.
It's a robot.
It doesn't have feelings yet.
Yeah.
We've all seen Futurama. We know what the future holds.
So there's all of that. But then, of course, other manufacturers like to use the Festival of Speed to launch cars. They launch platforms. They do big reveals. So Hyundai, for example, have just launched their new Ioniq 6N, which looks amazing. MG have launched a couple of new cars. Loads of people have come out with some cool stuff. Jaguar Land Rover are here, JLR. Now, they've been in the absolute talking topic. I think in one of our last episodes of season 2, we kind of rounded off by going, well,
Yes,
that's
it was.
here.
I
There we
had
are.
one of the worst 24 hours of my
Yeah.
career because I dared ask for opinions and I just got loads of homophobia. It was really fun. Yeah,
So-
great.
so
And guess what
firstly-
happened yesterday as well?
Oh, did the same sort of thing
Yes,
happen?
because
Wow.
Jaguar has obviously they've bought the Type-00.
Yeah.
I put a singular picture of it on Twitter saying big and blue. And lo and behold, homophobia, transphobia, the whole
Brilliant.
line. And it's just, these people get so incensed by a picture of a blue car.
Yes.
I want to know what other problems they don't
Oh,
have,
gosh,
because I have
yeah.
other things to worry about in my life.
If that was the one thing that really riled me up, my life would be so happy.
Yeah, I
really
mean,
do.
imagine getting cross about a car.
A car, yeah. Are you going to buy it?
Jesus.
No. Do you want to buy it? No. So we can just move on. But anyway, I've seen it. We've all seen it. You've seen it in
I've
the
not
in
seen
the
it
metal.
yet.
Oh, it's just
No.
over there. We'll go and have a look afterwards. Firstly, seeing it in the metal, it's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be.
It is, I learned yesterday, shorter than an F-Type.
No way.
Yeah, like height-wise, not length-wise.
Wow.
Very long. So
Yeah.
it's two-ish metres at the back, 1.8, 1.9 at the front. So it's got some haunch to it, like perhaps a Jaguar, and
Jag.
a Jag. And yeah, it's shorter. It's lower than F-Type.
Well, I'll be damned. Yeah, but I was very pleasantly surprised. I walked in with Henry, our photographer, and went, "Oh, it's like a scaled down version." Oh no, that's it.
That's it. That's the thing.
So yeah, like all these things, often manufacturers bring out a car and makes us all go, "Oh, I'm not sure about that." Go and see it in the real, and it looks better.
It looks really good. The thing that got me about it is it's striking in pictures, but so many of the images, of course, when they released the press images, the car was out of context. There wasn't a person next to it. And you saw some like really terrible iPhone photos from the Miami launch.
Yes.
And there was the kind of stage managed stuff in Paris where they had Barry Keoghan kind of getting
weird.
out of it and taking a jacket out of the boot
and
being like, look, it's a blue Jaguar.
It's
and
a completely
I'm in
natural
it.
event.
Yes. This is just my ride. Uber. So good these days, right? But yeah, when you actually get up close to it, the lines are so stark. It's like, this is where this bit stops, and then there is this bit, and then there is this bit. But I had a bit of a tour around it, and there's elements of other Jags in it. So like the sort of piano keys that you don't really see in the images on the edge of the bonnet. Those are off an XJS, for example.
Right.
The roof is painted glass, which has never been done before. Inside, there's this kind of brass spine that goes all the way through like the length of the vehicle to separate driver and passenger, and there's brass all over it. So the Jaguar Leaper, for example, Dua Lipa's sort of slightly tragic sister, there's sorry,
I can't let that go.
no, Jaguar Leaper. That's what it's called, Dua Lipa's little sister. No, but the Leaper logo is still there, but in the images you see it very starkly, but in context of the car and with people around it, they liken it to fingerprints. There's one on the outside and there's one tiny one on the inside of the door. It's very stark in there. They were saying like it's sort of production intent. There are ideas in this that will go ahead. Will there be a big metal bar that in an accident you'll brain yourself on in the production car? Probably not, but there might be a lot of brass in there, and the kind of the minimalist design, anything you don't need will be retained or not retained, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the blue they've got especially, my camera had trouble focusing on it, and I was told that had they not put a hole in the ceiling to let light in, cameras wouldn't work.
Ow.
You couldn't take photos of it because it just messes with you.
You like mentioned the sort of like setting. When you see this in real life now, what sort of like presence does it have? Like, you know, and if you ever saw it in the real world, what sort of like vibe does it give off?
It looks. Hopefully you'll agree with me on this, John. But I think it looks genuinely like nothing else on the road because it's a concept car for one. Like.
Yeah.
The dimensions of it, the shape, the how low it is, you're never going to see that on the M25. You're not going to see one of those parked up a curb outside a suburban house. But it's got this sort of video game kind of blocky, cel-shaded almost presence to it.
Yeah.
Because the lines are so stark, and because the ones that are there are very deliberate. So there isn't a wave just because it looks nice. There is no wave. The headlights, they are only as thin as they need to be. The rear lights, when they're not used, they are black. So if you don't need to have that extra detail, it's not there. It's on or off. It's binary in that sense.
Yeah.
And the interior, it's a bit more flowy. It's a bit sort of marble spa-esque kind of thing. It's probably not what they want me to say about it, but that's the vibe I got. But it's one of those things that, even though it is my job, it is quite hard to describe it because with people around it, as you say, it's not as big as you think it is. But the presence it exudes, it just every eye in the room goes to it. And if they open the door in there, so it is at the show, it is a blue car, and the Jaguar stand is a big blue box. It is a monotone monolith with a car in the middle, and there's another one hidden away in slightly lower light. And the door opens and the entire room just goes, I want to see that. The drama to it, and the wheels as well, they're 23 inches, which is big. And it's got the new Jaguar logo on it, so kind of interconnecting J's on it, which looks very cool. I was a big fan of it beforehand, partly because I like the way it looked, but partly because a polarizing car is a good thing. I mean, not a huge fan of the rampant transphobia and homophobia that came alongside it, but I just think some people need better hobbies. Like the discussion around it, I think, has been fascinating. But seeing it in the metal, in the aluminium, in the carbon, in the marble, in the brass, whatever, I like it a lot more. I really, really do. And I think if you go and see it after this, you'll either think, oh, that's excellent, or you'll think, ugh.
Yeah, which is fine either way, because I'm still not overly decided if I think it's a good-looking car or not. I'd like to see one on the road. I think that's always the test, isn't it? Get one on the road next to a 5 Series Estate and a Mini, and just see how it compares. But the other thing as well worth mentioning is the EXP15, the Bentley concept car that came out, which again. We're starting to see a bit of a trend here. I don't know if you've seen this, Charlotte. Yeah, I think it was launched earlier this week from when we were recording on social media. And it's a very similar style. I'm going to hold up a photo for you, Charlotte. From a distance, you'll see it's a very similar sort of design language.
Taken inspiration from, I think, one of the most expensive Bentleys in the world, the Blue Train, I think it's called. I can't... My knowledge of classic Bentleys is not perhaps as good as it should be. And that has a very distinctive kind of swept-back shape, a sort of coupe-esque roof. And this thing, it's very... I mean, I haven't seen it in context. I've seen a picture of the interior with a dog in it, in a sort of bassinet in the front. It's a 3-seater car.
Yeah.
And there's space for a dog, which is bizarre to me.
3 seats plus dog.
Tells you a lot about life today, doesn't it?
Plus sausage dog. But the front's very upright, it's very stark again, but it's got quite a lot of, I'm going to say, glitz to it. So Bentley also unveiled a new logo, so it's got new wings, and it's the logo on the front lights up. It's got where the Jaguar as a form is very, these are the lines and you are going to follow them. And if you don't need it, you don't have it. The Bentley's gone, no, look at this bit and this bit and this bit and that bit. Oh, okay, maybe not that. Nah, go on, look at it anyway. Look inside, there's a dog. It's caused much like, well, in a very different way from the Jaguar, online, it's caused a bit of a furore. Some people think, oh, look at that, it's a great concept car. Some people are declaring the end of days. A friend of mine, journalist in Australia, she said, I wish I was surprised, but I've spent so much time in China driving Chinese EVs that I've seen a lot of this before.
Yeah.
So I think it's, whether it's Bentley's kind of attempt at the Chinese market and trying to woo those guys, because that's where a lot of money is, and new is always better over there, and an EV is always better. And if it's a Bentley, that comes with heritage. But I think I'd be curious to see what bits of that they bring into production.
Exactly. Well, and even the logo, because I think the logo is just for that concept, isn't it? That's not their new... Is that their new logo?
The new wings are on the Bentley stand right next door.
Well, I'll be damned.
Yeah, that is how Bentley is going forward next. I think the last time they rebranded was, if not turn of the century, a little before.
Well, blow me down. So... Jaguar have got a new logo. I think that's nonsense, and I'm going to put that on the record. I think it's daft and I hate it. Bentley's logo, okay, kind of get it. Looks dangerously close to a... Don't worry, listeners, we're not under attack. That is a daytime firework display currently going off.
It's the Gordon Murray automotive moment.
Oh, it's the moment, isn't it?
Yes.
Outside the house.
Daytime fireworks, very cool, but it's smoke with bangs in it.
It is, yeah. It's just red coloured smoke.
Yes.
What you're not aware of as well is we had to pause our recording earlier because Edith Bowman and Vicky Butler-Henderson started talking about car audio systems right next to us on a PA system.
And what was in their glove box?
We learned that Edith Bowman, in her glove box, has lots of defunct chargers and her car's full of litter.
And some antihistamine.
But she blamed the kids.
Yeah. She blamed her sticky children.
So we'll let the fireworks go on in the background because it's dramatic. But yes, Jaguar logo, I think that's nonsense. Bentley logo, not yet decided, looks a little bit too close to the Genesis logo now. There is a third logo that's been launched this weekend in time for the Goodwood Festival of Speed 2025, and that's from Range Rover.
Yes.
What's that about?
Well, so if you haven't seen it, it's basically two capital R's kind of mirrored upside down, so it sort of looks like a weird 8, sort of. I'm doing it a disservice. The idea of it, or so says what I've picked up in the press, is that it's what they use as a sort of hallmark or a mark where they can't fit the Range Rover kind of lettering, because it's Range Rover is quite long. You need a lot of real estate. But if, for example, a little bit like Dua Lipa's sister, if they just want to put something little there, they can have that on the side of a building or on a door or something like that, and that'll be the thing. The problem is, And it took me a while to figure out where I could place it. You remember back in like the proper hip hop days where you had the guys wearing jewel encrusted dollar signs?
I remember
And
it well.
it was like obviously I am a huge hip hop fan.
I get that from you.
Yeah, I mean the mean streets of Cambridge taught me a lot. But it reminds me of one of those.
Yeah.
But not necessarily in a good way. It's like hey kids, remember this?
Yeah.
Isn't it great? But again, I'll sort of undig that particular hole. I think it's the sort of thing that will grow on us in time. A little bit like, swinging it back to BMW, the M3's front end. I think the more familiar we get with it, or it's going to be the sort of logo that's in the sort of places that people like us are NFI, so it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah,
To me, I think it looks like a capital R and then a lowercase d underneath, and I can't unsee that. To me, it doesn't say RR. I can't see RR in that anyway. I don't immediately. And to me, my rule of design or anything is if you have to explain it, it doesn't work. And I think the problem is you do have to explain it a bit. You've seen it?
Yeah, and a lot of the write-ups that I've sort of been consuming over the last 24 hours, the word brand features heavily. And I think this is a thing for a lot of car manufacturers now. They're almost becoming too self-conscious. They're trying to be too cool. They're trying to be too appeal to the influencers and all that kind of thing. And the logo itself, it's very inoffensive. It's very nothingy. It doesn't offend me.
I mean,
but it's not strong enough. And thankfully, they'll still be using the actual Range Rover text on the front and the back of the vehicle. So had that not being the caveat to it, for me, I'd be like, absolutely hate it, really angry. I wouldn't be going on X and shouting about it, but
I mean,
again, it's just a sign
bigger
of the
concerns
times.
in your life.
You know, I think it's very kind of like the style of it's like fashion. You know, you can imagine it on like t-shirts in repeated patterns.
That's entirely deliberate. So it was when sort of it was last year at some point, but Jaguar Land Rover's chief creative, I think that's his title, Jerry McGovern, who is the man who is in charge of all the design. His new vision for the company is that Jaguar Land Rover isn't Jaguar and Land Rover, it is a house of brands. So think of it less like a car company and more like LMVH. And so the Range Rover logo, that will be the Range Rover brand. The Jaguar J or Dua Lipa or whatever, that is... You'll look at that and you'll know that's a Jaguar. You'll look at the Range Rover and you'll know that's a Range Rover. And then inevitably, you know, it's going to come. There'll be a Defender one. There'll be a Discovery one. There'll be a whatever's coming next one. So while at the moment it seemed like to your point, you know, it's all about brands. Yes, yeah, it is. Like he actively wants it to be that. He doesn't want Jaguar Land Rover to be a car company anymore.
You could see it on clutch bags and little purses in that just repeated, you know, like you get with like other fashion houses. It's just, you can see it becoming that kind of thing where I think, what was the car launch you went to recently? Cupra. And they were giving out bracelets.
I can't. Is that what the consumer wants? The person that buys the car, do they want an embossed gold bracelet with the word Cupra on it?
I think
I wouldn't.
There's degrees of it though, because you know, say Mini, for example, sells loads of t-shirts and the merch is cool. Renault 5 merch, incredibly cool.
Yeah.
Cupra merch, because it's a little bit more expensive, a little bit less sort of fun and funky and anti-zany. It's might be a little bit different. But then you go to the other end of the scale. You and I have both been to many Ferrari Challenge races, and people there are head to toe in red gear or stuff with prancing horses all over it.
I don't know if it still is the stat, but it certainly was for a long time that Ferrari as a brand, Ferrari Limited, or whatever the Italian equivalent is, made more money from selling their merchandise than from selling their cars.
Yeah, I don't think that's true anymore.
Yeah, I'd hope not.
I'd hope not.
But it's, I mean, and that shows some brands definitely get away with it. A lot of others don't.
But do you think it's that, like, the influencer sort of maybe generation where, you know, younger people tend to wear their lives a lot more and share their lives a lot more. And so if you're creating this kind of brand image that isn't just about the car, it's about the accessories, literal accessories that you can buy with it, is that for that next generation that we are just completely out of touch with, and we don't necessarily want to wear it?
It is the children who are wrong.
The question you need to ask to the influencers is, cool, you're wearing it because you've been given it, but would you buy it?
Yeah.
And if the answer's no, then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's my answer.
Yeah, there's I mean, every Christmas I do the rundown of the world's worst merch.
Yes.
Like, there is some truly hideous stuff out there. Like, my all-time favourite remains the Mercedes-Benz three-pointed star steak brander.
Nice.
Beautiful.
So you can have
Have
you
you
can
got
make
one?
sure every absolutely I don't.
What car do you drive, Alan? Well, here's a steak for you, and here's a clue.
I'll give you a fine bit of rum. Same badges on the back of my car. Nice. But I think that it's the tipping point of we've got the weird tats that people sell, but then if they can hit that market, it means their brand isn't just something you see on the road anymore, but you'll see it in the pub, you'll see it at work, you'll see it at school, you'll see it at college. And I guess it's a sort of attempt at making everything aspirational.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the more you know about us, the more you see our cool logo in these cool places,
maybe.
like Morrison's, you'll really want to own one of the cars. And then we'll give you a great PCP deal. It's got a 1.5 litre hybrid. See you in 3 years. Maybe.
Maybe.
Or it's just people just trying to make extra money.
Well, let's see what bangles we're all wearing this time next year.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be in my... Although, do you know what? Ironically, lovely Tom from BMW, who helped facilitate this, was wearing a plain white T-shirt embossed with an M logo. And I actually said to him, that's nice. Where do I get one of those? So maybe I'm the problem after all. But would I buy one?
Would you buy? Yeah.
No.
If one appeared magically in the post.
Yeah, I have that. That is a genuinely a blanket rule that I have, is that I won't wear clothing that details my interests. I won't purchase clothing that details my interests. If I'm
Right.
given it, I'll
Yeah.
wear it every day. I will wear your free... If anyone's listening that has a T-shirt brand, I will wear your T-shirts if you send them to me for free. No questions asked.
And we're going to be on camera a lot more this year.
So my friend who runs Peeping Tom T-shirts, he's got a great
I'll have
one for you.
Yeah, I'll wear it with pride. Would I buy it? Probably not. I'm sure they're fantastic.
You'll wear it with pride,
But-
and you'll see it in your windows soon.
Yes, exactly. But we are almost out of time. This has been an unorthodox re-entry into podcasting, with the sound of F1 cars going past, a firework display, and Edith Bowman.
I mean, yeah, I'll take it though.
Yeah.
As show openers go, I don't think I've done anything quite as esoteric.
Yes.
Or what's the dissonant?
Yes, I agree with you.
These are
I agree
good
with you.
words.
Good words.
They're long words. I might be able to remember what they mean later.
You will hear more this season from the 2025 Goodwood Festival of Speed, because BMW have kindly given us this space for 3 days, and we're going to be utilising it. So we'll be chipping in with other episodes throughout this new season. For those of you that are listening going, hang on a minute, where's Miles and where's Amy? Please don't fret. They are very much still around. Amy's here, ironically, at the Festival of Speed, somewhere else. Miles is currently on the other side of the world doing some television work. So that's fine. We're letting him off. But there will be more to come from all of the usual hosts. We will be bringing you plenty of conversation. It's also worth pointing out as well that we've given our YouTube channel a bit of a polished. So head on over to our YouTube channel and have a look. Or if you want to just head to the website, driven.site, you'll get all the links to everything from there. Lovely
It's,
Alex Goy.
youtube.com/driven on YouTube.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So yes, we are currently hammering away at YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
So do go and have a look. Check out our hard work. A lot of it is being pioneered by the lovely Alex
so
Goy.
if you ever want to see a shiny man be very enthusiastic over some very carefully hand-picked cars, head over there. There are we've like highlights of the season so far. We've had the Tolman Edition Peugeot 205 GTI, which is up there with one of the best cars I've driven this year. Absolutely hilarious. There's a Dacia Bigster coming. As we talk now, it is arriving in 2 days' time. And as a huge Dacia enjoyer, can't wait. There's a Lotus Emira with a silly name. There's Red Arrows.
The Red Arrows have arrived.
They're excited about the silly name Lotus as well. And yeah, loads more. John's going to be playing in an M5 Touring.
Yes.
Which is going to be entertaining. He and I are going to find ourselves up the side of a mountain in some Porsches. And then much more to come when we figure out what to do next.
Exactly. Lots to come. Also, before we go, cannot ignore the fact that Charlotte has now got a BBC radio show.
Yes.
So let's just quickly segue that in.
Yes, we need to
very
bow in
much.
deference to our big British castle colleague.
Oh, what? It's a very exciting moment. So we launched the Motorsport show on the BBC Radio Northampton, and you can listen to it on BBC Sounds as well in April. And so clearly the theme is motorsport, but it has taken us to some incredible places so far. Last weekend, we covered the British Grand Prix for the first time.
Brilliant.
I mean, what a
Completely
gig.
overwhelming experience. I actually got to broadcast live in the lead up to the Grand Prix from Lance Stroll's office. My bum went on his chair and I wriggled around quite a lot on it. It was a very satisfying moment.
I mean, I think someone's going to get cancelled, but I'm not sure who.
Do you know what? I got invited to the party the next night, so things are going pretty well so far. But yeah,
Very good.
Was
absolutely
it a
incredible.
5-year-old's birthday party?
No.
Oh, it was a proper
no.
party.
There
Okay.
were proper big grown-up canapes and things like that. Bowl
canapes.
food.
I love a canape.
Yeah. But it was an amazing thing. I've never been to a Grand Prix before, and to be at Silverstone for the 75th anniversary of the British Grand Prix, or the Grand Prix, or Formula One, it was just amazing. And, you know, again, we talk about the access we get with our jobs. Incredible to be in the paddocks, you know, to go into the team headquarters and see all the celebrities and things like that. But for me, the best part of it was actually on the Saturday, I had time to just walk around the circuit, and it was 8:30 in the morning, and you had people eating ice cream and waffles.
Love it.
And you know, and it's like, that's the sort of thing when you realise, yes, for all the razzmatazz and the celebrities and the drivers at the top of their game, that's cool. But actually, it's actually just people who really, really love it.
Yeah.
And they treat it as a holiday. They save up for it for an entire
Oh, yes, a
year.
huge event. Yeah.
Incredible, you know, and talking to the race marshals and people like that for me is where the energy comes from. And those people have kept that sport going, and it's growing and growing and growing. They had 500,000 people visit over those 3 days for the Grand Prix. And that is the most attended Grand Prix race ever in the world.
Yeah.
And that is, you know, in Northamptonshire. And that's where we race our show every Tuesday. And we've already had John on the show.
I know, I've
and
been on
you've got to
as
come
a
back.
guest. I will,
Talking
I
about
will.
the Ferrari Challenge series. So yeah, it's been a very, very, very busy few months. I've learnt an awful lot about motorsport. And, you know, even this morning, not through the show, but I got to interview Nigel Mansell himself. Oh my goodness.
The mustachioed man.
How was his
just-
tash?
Oh, it's very thick. It's a nice
Love a-
beard as well attached to it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Love it.
A bearded Nigel.
Bearded Nigel.
That feels like it should be on Urban Dictionary.
It does, a bearded Nigel. And yeah, to listen to that, we'll include some links through to the Motorsport show, Charlotte's amazing show. So you can all enjoy that. If you enjoy this, you're probably going to enjoy that. For now, I will say thank you so much for listening. Welcome back to season 3. Thank you for bearing with us through the various background noises of Goodwood, including some definitely copyrighted music, which is going to be very fun to try and remove for our YouTube channel.
great.
So yes, thank you very much. More to come from us here at the Driven Podcast with me, John Marcar, Charlotte Vowden, Alex Goy, and in their absence, Amy Haynes and Miles Lacey, who are currently off doing more exciting things.
There's nothing more exciting than this, John. We are a laugh riot.
Thank you for listening. See you again soon.
Bye.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.